Hello students, in today's class we are going to study about the phylum Arthropoda. Phylum Arthropoda is the largest phylum among all the phylum of animal kingdom. So it's called the largest phylum. Largest phylum among all the phylums of animal kingdom. Animal kingdom ದಲ್ಲಿ ಅತಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಫೈಲಮ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಫೈಲಮ್ ಆರ್ಥ್ರೋಪೋಡ. Over 2/3 of named species are arthropods. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿದಂತಹ ಸ್ಪೀಸೀಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 2/3 ಸ್ಪೀಸೀಸ್ಗಳು ಆರ್ಥ್ರೋಪೋಡ್ಸ್ಗಳೇ ಆಗಿವೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾದ ಫೈಲಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. The name Arthropoda is come because of the two words arthro and poda, means jointed appendages or jointed legs. The meaning of Arthropoda is arthro means joints or jointed, poda means legs or appendages. Appendages are those which are projecting out of the body. ದೇಹದಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಚಾಚಿಕೊಂಡಂತ ಅವಯವಗಳನ್ನ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಅಪೆಂಡೇಜಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದು ಕಾಲುಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಂಟೆನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಫ್ಲಾಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲಗಳಿಗೂ ಅಪೆಂಡೇಜಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅವುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿದವ, ಕೀಲುಗಳನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿದವ ಅಂತವುಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವಿದ್ವಿ ಜಾಯಿಂಟೆಡ್ ಅಪೆಂಡೇಜಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆರ್ಥ್ರೋಪೋಡಾ ನೇಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟೆಡ್ ಲೆಗ್ಸ್. Now let us see the diagram of cockroach leg. So this is the diagram of cockroach leg. So these are the parts of cockroach leg. This part is called the coxa. This is called the trochanter, femur, tibia and tarsus. So these are the different parts of the legs of cockroach. So by diagram itself we can identify why we used to call jointed legs. Means many parts are there and each part is connected with another part with a small joint like structure. ಕೀಲುಗಳಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಭಾಗದನ್ನ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗೈತಿ, ಲಿಂಕ್ ಆಗೈತಿ. So for example, here is the one joint, here is the another joint, here also we see the joints, and here also many joints are there between the units of tarsus. And hence, so this group is called the jointed legs because of the joints present in their legs or appendages. Next, we'll talk about their habitat. Means where they usually found. ಅವು ವಾಸಿಸುವಂತ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳು, habitat. So the organisms coming in this group may be aquatic or terrestrial, or they may also adapted aerial mode of life. Aerial mode of life. Aquatic means those living in the water. Example, king crab, which live in the water. Terrestrial means those living on the land. Example, cockroach, all insects or spider, scorpion, they all are terrestrial. Aerial mode of life means those, even though they live on land, they can also fly in the air. Means here in this group we find a class called Insecta. In this group, we see more than 80% of insects are with wings. 80% of insects are with wings. And these insects can fly by using their wings. Here I want to say one thing, that is, in whole invertebrata group or non-chordates, this is the only group or class insecta is the only group in which the organisms have wings, and by using wings they can fly. ಹಾರಾಡುವಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟಾದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೆನಪಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ we talk about the next character or some of the basic character of this group. As usual, we see that many repeated terms here also. So the basic characters, like these organisms are triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical, eucoelomates, here the eucoelomate is hemocoelomate because cavity is filled with the blood. And they have organ system level of body organization. So we have come across many times these words, but the only thing is we have not studied this one. The cavity, true cavity is there, and that cavity is filled with the blood or hemolymph, and all the body organs have embedded or bathing in that fluid. Hence that cavity is called the hemocoel, and those organisms which have hemocoel are called the hemocoelomates. Yeah? And one more character we see in this group, these are segmented organisms, or they have true segmentation. These are segmented organisms, or they may have the true segmentation. So what is true segmentation? True segmentation means the one which we see from embryonic stage itself. ಯಾವ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಭ್ರೂಣಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದಲೇ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವಂತೀವಿ ಟ್ರೂ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಟ್ರೂ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ನಮಗೆ 3 ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. 3 ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯ ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಅನಿಲಿಡಾ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಆರ್ಥ್ರೋಪೋಡಾ ಹಾಗೂ ಕಾರ್ಡೇಟ್ಸ. ಈ 3 ಗುಂಪಿನ ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ ಟ್ರೂ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಕಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದರಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಭಿನ್ನತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ, ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸನ ಹೊಂದಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, in Annelida, the segmentation is both externally and internally. ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದನೂ ಒಳಗಡೆಯಿಂದನೂ segmentation ಕಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ Annelida. But in Arthropoda, segmentation is only in external. We see external segmentation. Body has not divided into any separate unit internally. There is no septa or partition within the body. Only body is divided externally. So here the segmentation is external. But in case of chordates, segmentation is internal. We not see the external segmentation in chordates. But all these 3 groups of animals are true segmented organisms. We see only true segmentation in these 3 groups of organisms. The body has divided into generally 3 parts. In the Arthropoda, body has divided into 3 parts. Into 3 parts. They are head, thorax, and abdomen. So generally we see these 3 parts in all the organisms. But there are some organisms where this head and thorax both are fused, and we are not easily distinguish head and thorax. Both are fused. In such a situation we call as a cephalothorax. Cephalothorax is the one where both head and thorax, both parts are fused. So head is made by 6 embryonic segments in case of cockroach. In cockroach we see the head is formed by the fusion of 6 embryonic segments. Thorax is divided into 3 parts. So they are prothorax, mesothorax and metathorax. Thorax are divided into 3 parts in case of cockroach. And abdomen is made by 10 embryonic segments. Abdomen has 10 embryonic, or it's made by 10 embryonic segments. So usually the organism body has divided into 3 parts: head, thorax and abdomen. But in some organism, head and thorax fuse together and form the cephalothorax. So if you study in cockroach, we see head region, thorax and abdomen, and head is made by the fusion of 6 embryonic segments, and thorax is divided into prothorax, mesothorax and metathorax, and abdomen has made by fusion of 10 embryonic segments. Okay, let's move to the next character. The organisms have exoskeleton. So next very important character of this group is they have exoskeleton. They have exoskeleton. Means the skeleton which is present outside the body. If it is present inside the body, we would have called endoskeleton. But here in this group we see exoskeleton. And this exoskeleton has made by chitin. A chitin is a homopolysaccharide. It's a homopolysaccharide. Like it's made by N-acetyl glucosamine. A homopolysaccharide, N-acetyl glucosamine. And chitin is present in the form of pieces. Not a single piece of chitin is not there. Chitin has present in many pieces, and these pieces of chitin or exoskeleton are called the sclerites. The pieces of chitin are called the sclerites. Each segment of organism body has covered by the sclerites. So the dorsal surface covered with the sclerite, that is called the tergum. The sclerite which covers the dorsal surface of the organism is called the tergum, and the sclerite which covers the ventral side is called the sternum, and lateral side also there are pieces of sclerite, they are for the pleura, and all these segments are connected with a membrane that is called the arthrodial membrane. Arthrodial membrane. So this is a flexible membrane which connects the dorsal sclerite, ventral sclerite and lateral sclerite. So throughout the body, so these chitinous pieces or sclerites are present. Then what is the use of chitin? So this is a very important character for the arthropods which are surviving on the land, or we may say this is the success of land arthropoda, presence of chitinous exoskeleton, because so chitin gives protection to the organism. It gives protection to the organism and also prevent the loss of water. Prevent the loss of water from the body. Loss of the water ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ. ಜೀವಿಯ ದೇಹದಿಂದ ನೀರು ಆವಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗಲಾರಂತೆ ತಡೆಯುತ್ತದೆ. ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ. So these are the two functions of chitinous exoskeleton. And this chitinous exoskeleton withers off periodically during the growth of the organism. Organism ಬೆಳೆದಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಈ chitinous exoskeleton ಕಳಚ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಹಿಗ್ಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಬಾಡಿ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾದಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ಮೇಲಿನ ಹೊರಕವಚ ಕೂಡ ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಬೆಳಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಹಳೆ ಕವಚ, ಹಳೆ ಲೇಯರು ಕಳಿಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊಸ ಕೈಟಿನಸ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಕ್ಸೋಸ್ಕೆಲೆಟನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಕೈಟಿನಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೋಸ್ಕೆಲೆಟನ್ ಪಿರಿಯಾಡಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಉದುರಿ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಕಳಿಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಸರಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಮೌಲ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಮೌಲ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಡೈಸಿಸ್. So what is molting? Molting is removal of chitinous exoskeleton periodically during the growth of an organism. Organism ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದ್ದಂತೆ ಅದರ ಎಕ್ಸೋಸ್ಕೆಲೆಟನ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಕಳಚಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೊಸದು ಅಥವಾ ಪುನಃ ರಚನೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತಾರ? ಮೌಲ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಡೈಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. So this is about the exoskeleton of arthropoda. Now we'll discuss the other general characters of arthropoda. Let us start first with the digestion. So what type of digestion is there or alimentary canal is there in this group? The digestive system is complete, or we may also say tube within tube, because the alimentary canal of the organism has both mouth as well as anus. In case of arthropoda, we see well-developed alimentary canal. If you study the cockroach digestive system, in anatomy part we used to see that the alimentary canal has divided into 3 parts: foregut, midgut and hindgut. And also alimentary canal is associated with some digestive glands. So this is about the digestive system. Next, we talk about the respiratory system. Respiratory system. So respiration in case of arthropods takes place with the help of different types of respiratory organs based on the organism's habitat. For example, the aquatic organisms have one type of respiratory organs, whereas terrestrial organisms have the another type of respiratory organs. So the aquatic organisms have gills or book gills as their respiratory organs. Example, king crab. We see gills or book gills in case of aquatic organisms like king crab. We also see another type of the respiratory organs in terrestrial organisms. So they are tracheal system. The tracheal system is another kind of respiratory organ. So in organisms like cockroach, we also see the book lungs. Book lungs are the another type of respiratory organs in organisms like spider and scorpion. Book lungs are the another type of respiratory organs in organisms like spider and scorpion. So what type of respiratory organs we see in this group? We may see the gills or book gills, book lungs and also tracheal system. Tracheal system we see in the organisms like cockroach. So what is tracheal system? Tracheal system means this is the cockroach body which has 3 parts: head, thorax and abdomen. So there are 10 pairs of spiracles. the openings present on the lateral side of the body. On either side of the body, there are small openings or holes. They are the ಎರಡು ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ. 2 pairs on thorax region and 8 pairs on the abdominal region. These openings have tubular structure inside. These are called the tracheal tube, and these tracheal tubes have branched in this manner, and these branches are called the tracheoles. The exchange of gases takes place directly between tracheoles and body tissues. If it is a body tissue, and the exchange of gases directly takes place between the tracheoles and the body tissues by a simple process called diffusion. So because usually in higher organisms, blood is the one which helps the exchange of gases. But here the blood is not going to do this exchange of gases function. So this function is performed by this tracheal system only. The exchange of gases takes place between the body tissue and tracheoles by the help of process diffusion. So here the air enters and exchange of gases takes place, and the waste gas or the unwanted, the respiratory gas come out of the body through these spiracles only. So this is about the tracheal system we see in the organisms like cockroach. Now we will discuss about the next, the system, that is circulatory system. Circulatory system in arthropods. Arthropods have open type of circulatory system. Open type of circulatory system. Open type means the blood pumped by aorta is not flowing within the blood capillaries. So it's circulating within the body cavities where the organs are bathing, and such cavities are called the sinuses. ಆ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿಗಳು ಏನಂತೀವಿ, ಸೈನಸಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ದೇಹದ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅಂಗಗಳು ಅಂಗವ್ಯೂಹಗಳು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತೇಲಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾವೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮುಳುಗಿರ್ತಾವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. So here we also see the 13 tubular hearts which are dorsal side. So there are 13 tubular hearts. Tubular hearts on dorsal side of the body or dorsal surface of the body. Dorsal surface of the body. And the blood present in their body is called the hemolymph. Hemolymph. This hemolymph has colorless plasma and hemocytes. It has colorless plasma and hemocytes. No respiratory pigment. No respiratory pigment. That's why this blood is not performing respiration process, or exchange of gases not takes place by the hemolymph because it has no respiratory pigment. So this is about the circulatory system of arthropods. Next, we'll discuss about the excretory system or excretion. Excretion. So based on the habitat, there are two types of animals. Maybe amniotic animals, or some animals may be eurycotelic animals. Amniotic animals are those which excrete ammonia as their nitrogenous waste. Ammonia as the nitrogenous waste. And eurycotelic animals are those which excrete uric acid as their nitrogenous waste. Usually, ammonia is excreted as a nitrogenous waste in the organisms which are aquatic. Because ammonia is highly poisonous substance, it needs large quantity of water to excrete the ammonia from the body. Hence, ammonia usually excreted, so the organisms which are aquatic forms. And uricotilic means the removal of the nitrogenous waste in the form of uric acid. Example, we see the cockroach. Cockroaches are uricotilic animals because they remove or excrete the uric acid as their nitrogenous waste. Now, the excretory organs. Here also we see the different types of excretory organs. The excretory organs may be green glands or Malpighian tubules. Malpighian tubules. So, green glands may be two types. They may be antennary glands or coxal glands. What is the difference between these two? So, antennary glands means the green glands which open through the antenna of the any organism body. These are the antenna. If any green gland open to the antenna, such green glands are called the antennary green glands. Example in king crab. So the green glands open to the antennary region or antenna region. Coxal glands are also green glands, but they open outside through coxa, which is a part of a leg in cockroach. So if green glands open through coxa, such green glands are called the coxal glands. Example, cockroach. So another type of excretory organs we see in this group are Malpighian tubules. So Malpighian tubules are present in between midgut and hindgut of alimentary canal of cockroach. So in between midgut and hindgut of alimentary canal. So this is the animal body. Here we see the esophagus, pharynx, gizzard, crop. These are hepatic caecae. This is the midgut. So rectum or hindgut. This is the alimentary canal of cockroach. So in between midgut and hindgut, here we see some filamentous structure, which are thread-like filamentous structure. The number may be 100 to 150 thread-like structures are there, or filamentous structures. These are called Malpighian tubules. So these Malpighian tubules absorb the nitrogenous waste from the hemolymph and they convert that nitrogenous waste as a uric acid, and this uric acid is removed out of the body through anus, passing through the hindgut. So it is excreted out of the body by anus by passing through the hindgut. So these are the two important excretory organs found in phylum Arthropoda. So next we will talk about the nervous system. Nervous system. So in case of invertebrata, nervous system is ventral, solid and double nerve cord structure. So these are the nerve cords and these are the ganglia, and two solid nerve cords are running parallelly on the ventral surface, and these are the ganglia. In each segment there are pair of ganglia. So this is the nervous system of arthropoda or cockroach. One thing I want to say here, so only small part of nervous system of cockroach is lying in the head region, and most of the nervous system is running throughout the body. So suppose if the head is cut off, then also the cockroach can live up to 1 week, because most of its nervous system is present throughout the body. So this is one of the importance of cockroach. So the structures related with the sense organs. So we'll talk about the sense organs. So eyes, antennae and statocysts are the sense organs of arthropoda. So eyes may be simple or compound. Simple eyes are those which have the only one lens. Compound eyes are those which have the small lenses, which are also called the ommatidia. In cockroach only we see, so for example if you take the cockroach, 2000 hexagonal, so lenses like structures are there, hexagonal structures are there, they are called the ommatidia. So these ommatidia are present in the compound eyes, and the vision is called the mosaic vision. The vision of compound eye is called the mosaic vision, because a single object image comes in many pieces. ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಚಿತ್ರ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂತರ ಮೊಸೈಕ್ ವಿಷನ್, and such a mosaic vision is useful to see the objects in the dim light. ರಾತ್ರಿ ವೇಳೆ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕಾಕ್ರೋಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕಾಕ್ರೋಚ್ಗಳು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಹೊತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಇದು ಮೊಸೈಕ್ ವಿಷನ್ ದ ಒಂದು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು. ಮೊಸೈಕ್ ವಿಷನ್ is the one which can see the objects in many pieces. So hence the cockroaches are said to be nocturnal animals. Nocturnal animals means those animals which are active during dark or night, and they are active because of their compound eyes or mosaic vision. Antennae means a pair of appendages coming out of the mouth region, and they sense the environment, whether there is a food or not. This message is given to the organism by the help of antennae. And statocysts are the organs which are useful to balance the body. They help the organism to balance the body. So these are the different types of sense organ seen in the organism, arthropoda. Next we will talk about the reproduction. Reproduction in arthropod. These are unisexual organisms. Unisexual organisms or dioecious. We may also call it dioecious organisms. Both the sexes are well developed. Fertilization is internal. The sperm ball is allowed or pierced or entered by the male into the female body. The next is the development is indirect, but in some organism it may be direct. So in the indirect development we see the larval stage. The larval stage in cockroach is called the nymph. Nymph is the one which look like a adult animal, but body size is very small, and these nymph structures are not having wings. And development of nymph to adult takes place by the help of 13 times molting process. 13 times molting of organism's body means the exoskeleton chitin is going to be removed or withers off 13 times, and then only a nymph is going to develop as an adult. Next, direct type of development we see in the scorpion. So exception, scorpions are viviparous. They give birth to the young ones, but all other organisms are oviparous because they lay eggs, and scorpion is the only organism coming in this group which is viviparous, and its development is direct because it gives birth to the young ones. So next we'll talk about little bit about economic importance of organisms coming in this group. Economic importance of organism. So first of all, the economic importance is honeybee. Honeybee or Apis indica, which give us honey as well as wax. They give us honey as well as wax. Next is another organism which is useful to human being, that is Bombyx mori. Bombyx mori, which is commonly called silkworm. Silkworm, so which give us silk. Silk is used for preparing silk sarees and silk other clothes. So next is Lassifer. Lassifer is the name of the organism which is commonly called lac insect, which give us lac. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರಗು ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈ ಚಿನ್ನದ ಆಭರಣಗಳು ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ತುಂಬಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಮಹಾಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಥೆನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಕೌರವರು ಪಾಂಡವರನ್ನ ಅರಗಿನ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾಶ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಂಚಾಕಿದ್ರು. ಪಾಂಡವರು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ವಿಧದಿಂದ ಪಾರಾದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಆ ನಂತರ ಅವರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿದಾಗ ಕರಿಗೋಯ್ತು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕಥೆಯನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಅರಮನೆ ಅರಗು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು. ಈ ಅರಗು ಅಥವಾ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಈ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಂದ ತಯಾರಿಸಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ದ ವೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್. Vectors are those which transmits the disease to one person to the another person. So here we may see the three types of vectors. One is Anopheles. So Anopheles carry the parasite Plasmodium parasite Plasmodium, which cause disease malaria to human beings. Which cause the disease malaria to the human being. Another one is Aedes. And this Aedes is transmitting parasites. Those cause the dengue and chikungunya. Dengue and chikungunya. Another insect is Culex, which transmits the parasites. Those cause the filaria disease. Which cause the filaria or elephantiasis. ಆನೆಕಾಲ ರೋಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರುವಂತ ರೋಗಗಳನ್ನ ಇದು ಹರಡುತ್ತೆ. So these are the vectors which cause the disease to the human being. Next is, we'll talk about some gregarious pest. Gregarious pest. Example, locust. Gregarious means the organisms or the insects which are coming in group. Their group is only for a small purpose. After completion of their purpose, they are separating. There is no any interaction between them. For example, in honeybee, they are also in group, but they have certain interaction, just like a queen, a male, worker. So such a relation is there. But in this group, they have no relation at all. While attacking on any plant yield, they come in group. After damaging, eating all the yield of the plants, they are separating. And such group is called the gregarious pest. Example, locust. And the last one is living fossil, Limulus or king crab. Living fossil, Limulus or king crab. So these are the importance of organisms of phylum Arthropoda. So here I am going to finish this phylum. Let us discuss another phylum in our next class. Thank you.